Okay, class, it's time for the rest of your questions. I put down all of the questions and I found some answers for you. And some of the questions Miss Jasmine had already answered, or some I answered after class, but I'll still share them because I know not everybody was able to be there. So here are my questions about the animals that were asked. The first question is from Penny. She says, why does a fox have a fluffy tail? And that was answered by Miss Jasmine. She said that fluffy tail helps them with their equilibrium, or it helps them balance. So do you see how they have this long tail when they have to jump or run or move quickly and quietly through the forest? This tail keeps them balanced. It is nice and fluffy. Dax asked, why do squirrels like nuts? Well, oh no, I put my picture in the wrong spot. Oh, good, I can move it. Now you can see it. Well, a squirrel likes nuts because that's something it can eat. Do you see these squirrels' teeth? The teeth are really sharp and just right for eating nuts. So their teeth have adapted to eat the nuts. And as they bite into the nut, it actually breaks off parts of their teeth. If they didn't eat nuts, their teeth would overgrow and get so big for their mouth and it would hurt. It would not feel good. So the nuts actually help keep their teeth in check. And I guess they just taste good. There are lots and lots of nuts for the squirrels to find, so it's very, very convenient for them to live in the forest. Why are some animals soft? Well, there are probably lots of answers to this question, but I could only find one answer that I thought made a lot of sense. So as I was researching, I came across this answer, and it was some animals are fluffy because the fluffy fur keeps them warm. So I put up a picture of a fluffy raccoon. Raccoons live in forests all across North America, and forests can get really cold, especially at night, and so they need that fluffy fur to keep them warm. This right here is a fox. This right here is a fox. What do you notice about the two foxes? One is fluffy, one is not. Look at the environment of the fox. Where does this fox live? Does he live in a cold place? No, he lives in a warm place. This is a type of desert fox. He lives in a very hot, deserty place, so he does not need to be so fluffy. His tail is still fluffy, and that probably helps with the equilibrium, like we talked about before, but most of his fur isn't very fluffy. What about this fox? He's fluffy. Where do you think he might live? He lives in a cold place. He lives in probably a place that's snowy at least part of the year, probably a lot of the year. And that fluffy fur keeps him warm. There are animals that even grow more fluffy fur every winter, and their fur gets fluffier and fluffier. And then in the spring, as things start to warm up, they shed that thick fur and they have nice thin fur for the warm summer months. Animals just are really good at stuff like that. And Nara asked us, what is a bobcat? Well, this is a bobcat. It's a wild animal that looks a lot like a house cat, and it has claws and sharp teeth and ears like a house cat. You might notice like the bobcat has a little tuft of hair that pokes up on his ears. Bobcats come in a couple different colors, but they're usually like grays and tans. They usually have kind of a spotty body. They can climb trees. They eat meat, so they hunt things like mice and other small animals. And they are wild. They're dangerous. You do not want to try to take one home as a pet. It would scratch you and hurt you and bite you, so that would be not good. But don't worry, there probably are no bobcats in your yard, so don't worry about that. But they live up like in mountains and forests, and they can climb trees. At what age do skunks start spraying their scent? This was Rowdy's question. And Miss Jasmine said she didn't know, but she said, I think they're born with the glands that create the scent. And so they probably can do it from when they're really little. So I started to research. And from what I could find, a baby skunk can start spraying. They have to be at least 3 weeks old. But after that, maybe between 3 to 4 or 5 weeks old, they can start to spray their stinky smell. When a baby skunk is born, like a lot of other animals, it can't hear very well and it can't see very well. It really, really depends on its mother to keep them safe. And a baby skunk will stay with the mother for a long time to be kept safe and to learn how to live on his own or her own. So this little baby skunk has his tail up like he might be trying to spray someone. So this baby skunk might be just about the right age to start spraying because they only have to be about 3 weeks old. That's really young. Who was it? Slater asked this one. Why are deer mice named deer mice? Well, Miss Jasmine was able to teach us about deer mice and tell us a lot of neat things. And I kept looking to find out, but why do they have that name? Why are they named deer mice? And somebody said, now this might not be the person who named them deer mice, so it just might be an idea, but I thought it was a good idea, so I thought I'd tell you. Somebody said they think they're called deer mice because of the coloring of the fur. Look at the top of the deer mouse and look at the top of the deer. It's got the darkest brown of its fur, and then it gets lighter, 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 and then a white belly. Lighter, 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 and a white belly. They have similar coloring. So that might be why they're called deer mice. How do snakes slither? Okay, this one was harder for me to find an answer to because apparently there are 4 different ways a snake can move. And all of them, the answer of how they slither is different. So the basics are they use their scales, their muscles, and they just move bit by bit. I saw a video that explained the 4 different ways, and I will link that for you if you would like to watch it. And then you can learn about those 4 different ways they slither. But one of the things that was kind of common is for all of the snakes is they use their scales to kind of hold tight, and then they use their muscles to push off. So when they go this way, they're pushing off of something, and they use the curve of their own body to push off of that. So like he'll push off of this curve to move next and push off that curve, and then he'll pull his legs or his tail up to make a new curve and then push off that curve. They're going completely straight. They're just using just their stomach muscles and their stomach skin just to kind of inch a little bit, right? Like just bit. And there were 2 other ways, and it was really tricky to understand. So maybe you might want to watch the video, and once you can see it, you might understand better than I can explain it. But snakes are really neat. They have a lot of cool ways to move. What colors do ducks come in? This was a question by Nick. And when he asked this question, he said, I have seen a duck with red eyes. And I thought, I've never seen a duck with red eyes. I thought loons had red eyes, which is an animal a lot like a duck. But I didn't know a duck had red eyes. So that was my question. Do ducks have red eyes? Are there any ducks with red eyes? So I went and looked, and look what I found. I found that there are ducks with red eyes. Look at that. There's a couple different kinds. So he did see a duck with red eyes. That's cool. And look at all these colors. I found white ducks, white and gray. I found ducks that have black. And then there's red and orange and yellow and green and blue and purple. And even on this duck's beak, there's like this pink. It's like all the colors I could even think of. There, you can see that duck a little better now. So ducks come in just about any color you can imagine. And I think that's really cool. Look at how different these ducks are. But they all have some of the same adaptations that we learned about. They have those flat feet. that help them swim in the water, and they have bills that help them catch their food in the water, and they have those feathers with a waterproof or with oil on it that makes them almost waterproof. The water slides right off of them. All right. Okay, 2 more questions. This one was from Ellie, and her question was, why do cheetahs have spots? Well, a cheetah's spots help them camouflage, which is important when they're sneaking up on their prey. But it's also important when they have a baby, so that their babies can hide in the grass. So the little dots actually look like the shadows in the grass. See how it almost looks like the grass has little shadows? The dots make little shadows. So yeah, so that is why cheetahs have spots. And our last question was from Ryder, and he asked, how do lions grow a mane? Well, you know that girl lions, they are covered in hair like most mammals, but they do not grow a mane. And then this boy lion does have this mane, and this male lion. And what we have learned is that male lions or boy lions typically start to grow their mane when they are 1 year old. And it's because their body produces this hormone called testosterone. Oh my goodness, I'm having trouble. Testosterone. And that is the same kind of hormone that humans have. Humans have that in them too. And male lions, their bodies produce more of that hormone, which triggers their body to create more hair in their mane. All right, those are all of the questions I had. Thank you so much for listening and learning with me today. I love your questions. Keep thinking of questions. Keep asking questions. Go learn and see what you can find as you search for information. There are good, safe places to search for information online. So have a grown-up help you, and you can learn so much. Thanks. Bye.